Hi, my name is Srividya Iyer, and today I thought of bringing to you something that is very, very close to my heart. Yes, it is related to parenting. Now, parenting as a topic is a very vast topic, and I can go on and on for days. But I chose to spoke on something that is very interesting for you, also something that you already know and you can relate to if you are a parent or you are going to be a parent or you're a grandparent. You would relate to this. The topic is language acquisition and speech development in infants. Now, to begin with, when the baby enters the world, it enters crying, right? So crying is the first tool of communication in baby. Now, when the baby cries, it communicates its needs, requirements, its necessities, and the parent also gets the signal that the baby wants something, it needs something. So crying initially is very timid and subtle and weaker, but slowly when the baby is progressing towards the second month and growing, the cries become more confident, more uh, tactical, and sometimes a little fussy also. Now, when this crying, this is the crying stage, and the next is the first positive communication that the baby does, we can say, is the first smile. Yes, the first smile. uh, it's the first smile is observed by the parents during, say, when the baby is of 3 months or so. So smiles initially are, very, very less frequent, but slowly they have become more frequent and very responsive. They also smile back to you when you speak to them or smile to them. And the next stage is cooing. Cooing is a stage, actually, it's a formal entry of the baby to the speech development or language acquisition. Now, cooing is usually in the form of a vowel, say ah, oo, and uh, actually it's very cute to notice baby cooing. Initially, like in crying also, like in smiles also, initially it's very less frequent, but slowly babies' coos become very responsive, very interactive. Whenever you talk to them or whenever you are around them, they will start cooing. So this is the stage, which is around, say, uh, the third month to the sixth month, you know. And when the child is about 6.5 months, it will also start babbling. Now, when it comes to babbling, for a parent, it's a very enjoyable phase. Why? Because actually, the baby is kind of talking. It's called, also known as baby talks. The word. It's actually, it doesn't make much sense. It's a little nonsensical in nature, but still, these talks are very cute. Say ba ba ba, ka ka ka, and these um, repetitive, say consonant along with the vowel. That sound of that repetition is very, very cute. So these after this babbling stage, so as I said, between 6 to 12 months, anytime around the child's first birthday, you can expect the first word that the baby will utter. Some children also get it between 12 to 15 months, the first word. We always, as a parent, eagerly wait for that first word of the baby. Now, when the child says the first word, it is usually anything that is, the child can relate to and it has seen. For example, any object or any people, you know, around the child. For example, mama, papa, a toy, doll. It could be, all could be first word. Or say milk. So, when the child utters this first word, slowly, the first word to the second, to the third word, to the fourth word, and the progress is very, very quick. Now, by the age of 18 months, they gather all these, one single words, and they communicate to the caregiver, to the parents through these words which are known as hollow phrases. Now, what is a hollow phrase? Hollow phrase is a single word that is used for communication, but it means a lot. For example, uh, child may say, look at the toy and say toy. It means that it wants toy. It can look at the bottle and say milk. It means that it wants to drink milk. So in that way, the hollow phrases are very, very communicative in nature. The child can clearly communicate its intention and needs through these hollow phrases. Now, the growth of vocabulary is around 18 months is say about 100 words. So where it started, and now the child learns about in and around 100 words by 18 months. So again, I'm saying it's a very rough idea. So children may differ. Now, when this first during the 18 months, they have this vocabulary of about 100 words, as I said. Now, slowly they have these hollow phrases, and there are errors that the baby may commit. These errors are called overextensions. For example, they may look at a balloon and say that it is a ball. Why? Because they have played with the ball, seen a ball, but they have not seen a balloon. So they have this idea that anything that is inflated and round in shape is a ball. So that is called the error of overextensions. But there is a remarkable growth in their vocabulary. Say from 18 months to 2 years, they can go up to 300 words. And from second year to the third year, the child may go up to 1,000 words. See how remarkably their vocabulary grows. After the one word utterances comes the stage between 1.5 to 2.5 years, where they communicate to us through telegraphic speech. Now, telegraphic speech, why it is so called? Because they are very syntactical in nature. You can actually understand what the baby is trying to communicate. For example, it could be one, 2-word utterance or 3-word utterance. For example, mama, milk, please, or doggy, bite. So all these, words, you can easily understand what the child is trying to say or saying. So after this telegraphic speech stage, as I told you, when they are on to their second year and when they are on to their third year, the growth of vocabulary is immense. Now, that is why this period of 0 to 5 years for any child in any child's life, the growth, the cognitive growth is optimum. Now, that is why they learn a lot during this phase. Now, by the end of say 4th year, 4 years, when the child is 4 years, they can actually understand what you're trying to say or trying to instruct. They can follow your simple instructions. And by the age of 4.5 years, they can actually speak simple sentences. For a normal child, I would also like to add that for normal children, the rate of language acquisition is, can differ by 1 to 1.5 years. It is not same for every kid. It is not like the milestone is like something that has to be achieved at this particular month. It could be way earlier or it could be a little later also. It can happen. Depends on number of factors. For example, the number of people in the household. If it is a very, very big family, then more interaction is there. The baby is exposed to more people talking to it. In that way, language could be, attained. Language abilities are attained much faster. The amount of interaction that a parent or a caregiver does with the baby, that is also very important. If the interaction is less, then, the baby could develop speech later, a little late. And if the interaction is more, then the baby has the chances, of developing speech early. Now, also the number of languages that are spoken in the baby's environment. For example, in this urban lifestyle, this is very important factor. Why? Because there are many languages that are spoken in the household. Grandparents speak one language. The nanny or the caregiver speaks another language. And the parents speak another language. And if they are sent to play school, there they learn another language. So in that way, the number of language they are exposed to also is very important. And it is very interesting to notice that the child, develops from general abilities to specific language related ability. For example, general ability is all the cooing sound and babbling. All these are general for all the kids, across the world. But when it comes to language abilities, it is the language that is spoken in the household, right? So with this, I come to the end of my conversation. Thank you so much for patiently listening to me.